Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cinema Regulars, the movie review show where we see so many movies in theaters that the employees know us by name and they don't ask us what movies we're seeing, they ask us how many. Now, we are back from a great day of movies. This is interesting on the podcast here because this is, again, the first time that we're going to have three, big name movies. Like, normally we'll have, a big movie and then two little movies or something like that. But this is like back to back to back, like highly, marketed films that we've been seeing a lot about and that have been hyped up a lot. All three of these have
Yeah,
been in like the ultra screens or the IMAXs, like the like they're pretty big name movies. So it'll
yeah,
be interesting
exactly.
to get all three of those in. So today
Absolutely.
we will be looking at Godzilla X Kong, the latest entrance into the MonsterVerse series, followed up by Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, the sequel to Ghostbusters Afterlife, and we'll be rounding off with Monkey Man.
Ha ha.
Yes, ooh, ooh, ah, ah.
Monkey. All right. So let's let's move into Godzilla, right?
Godzilla X Kong.
The new Empire.
Yes, a new empire. 'Cause I
Uh,
believe I did read that they will be doing another Godzilla X Kong after this. Like the guys already started working on it.
I that actually sounds fun. But that actually does. I'm actually kind of happy about that. But anyway, moving right along. Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire is described as Godzilla and the Almighty Kong face a colossal threat hidden deep within the planet, challenging their very existence and the survival of the human race.
Sounds about
Dang,
right.
summed up the entire, pretty much the whole movie in like two
Yeah,
sentences.
don't you love
Like,
that?
not even kidding. That wasn't even two sentences. That was a singular sentence.
Yeah, I think I looked at the description for this and I was like, oh boy, it's so short. Isaac's gonna have a real easy job next time. Uh,
Yeah,
so
like I mean, it's a Godzilla movie. It's a Godzilla,
right,
like it's you can't, like, there are two types of Godzilla movies. There are Godzilla movies that take themselves very, very seriously, which, okay, I shouldn't say that because really only one Godzilla movie has taken itself extremely seriously. Although the 2014 Godzilla did try to take itself very seriously.
Mm,
Or it's one where it's just monsters fighting, and that's what Godzilla should be, except for in the rare occasion of Godzilla minus one. Like, Godzilla
right,
minus one is the exception, not the rule.
right. So even if you haven't seen a Godzilla movie, you should at least by now be aware of the common gripe about Godzilla movies is that nobody cares about the human characters. And again,
Exactly.
rehashing from Godzilla minus one, that's what was so good about it is because they finally figured out how to make interesting human characters and make you care about the human side. But so again, this is no stranger to that again. Didn't care anything about the humans. But I believe that this is one of those movies because they know this. So
Yes.
they've been saying about every single new Godzilla movie that comes out that it's going to be less humans, more monster fighting, and everyone loves it. I
And they delivered on this one.
they did. I really like what they did in this one. The human side, I get that it's necessary to like connect it for plot purposes and explain the sciences, except not really. But like it's like a necessary evil, but there was something about this movie in particular that showed that that's not entirely true. And it's my favorite aspect of the movie is that there are scenes where it's King Kong interacting with the other Kongs, like the other gorillas,
Yeah.
and it's completely devoid of dialogue. You have to go off
Yes.
of like their grunts and like their facial movements and body language of what they're communicating to each other. And that's something that I've realized I really, really like in movies is like nonverbal storytelling. Like the amount of times where we've seen a trailer and I'll go like, "Oh, I hope there's no dialogue in that movie whatsoever." Silent Night
Yeah.
did that, and I really like
Yep.
that. Um, we I was hoping that
Wild
that
robot.
Wild Robot, the new DreamWorks movie coming out, would have that because I mean that would be super interesting if it's all just like visual stories like that. But that's what makes these scenes so cool is because you don't need like dialogue like that. Like you were able
No.
to tell from like the bad guy Scar King how he felt and like because he like lifts up Kong's lip and looks at his like replacement metal tooth that the humans gave him and he starts laughing at him like, oh, he's gone soft.
Yeah.
He's palling around with the puny humans kind of deal, and you don't even like pick that up verbally at all. You just get that.
No.
And so
Yeah.
I
No.
thought
They did a very good job of that.
I thought those scenes were like super cool and super interesting.
No, they were indeed. The other stuff, some other things that I found really fun. Uh, the technology was was really cool. Definitely like a step up.
Hmm.
Like we were in the theater. We were in the theater and like I was complaining about how like in Godzilla versus
Oh
Kong,
yeah,
they had the ships to get down into Hollow Earth. And I was like and they were like I liked those ships cuz they looked like little like almost like little pill bugs before they roll up. Like
little
they look
bugoids.
like little yeah, they look like little dudes. Little insect guys. And then this one and I'm just like it just at first I was like, it's not that great. And then after they got to Hollow Earth, I'm like, oh, it's got like hands. That's cool. And then it
Got little
has
legs.
active camouflage.
Yeah,
Like it can blend in with the other Titans.
not that it blends in with like the backgrounds, but that it blends in with like the other flying monsters down there. Like it copies their like scale patterns.
It takes advantage of the pack mentality that they have. Like the fact that they took monsters that like were like people stay clear of them because like they're not predatorial, they're just territorial.
Oh, they
So
had like
like
no,
they
they had bioelectricity, so like they
well yeah, which is why
if they
people
get
leave them
riled
alone.
up,
Like yeah, that's why they leave them alone cuz like if
yeah.
you fuck with them, you're going to get screwed. It's like a bee's nest. Like bees kind of leave themselves alone until like you kick it.
Right.
Like it's like that and like they use that like they use blending in with that like pack or herd or whatever the hell you call a flock. There it is. uh of them to like get further into Hollow Earth, and that was cool. I really like that. I
Mhm.
also I have to say I fucking love Trapper. Trapper was easily like my favorite human character in the movie. Like I
Yeah.
loved him. He was so much fun. Like he had a lot of it's kind of cool. Like of course, like it makes sense. Like Monarch is monitoring all these Titans. It makes sense that there would be a Titan vet.
Yeah.
And that's cool. That's a cool occupation. That's a really dope occupation.
Mhm. Um, I forgot what I was gonna say. Uh,
Uh,
so the the other obvious gripe is that they do a lot of because movie stuff. Like
yeah,
like when they bring in the arm, like the mechanical arm for Kong that just so happened to be like 10 feet away, and then it
yeah,
just so happened to have fluid that cures frostbite in a few seconds, and
yeah.
the other people just so happen to have crystals that change gravity for some reason. but
Yeah.
I'm kind of fine with it because I kind of
Yeah,
see I
like
kind of see Godzilla movies um like an anime.
you
'Cause
can't
you know how
explain everything in it.
no, in the way like in anime you constantly see like it doesn't matter like what any and was it called like shonen, right?
Yeah, I
Shonen's
guess.
the term where and in those kind like Dragon Ball Z,
Yeah, those are shonen. Yeah,
they're constantly like one upping
ex machining.
themselves.
Oh,
No, they're
that okay.
one-upping so like
Yeah,
characters are constantly getting like stronger forms and
yeah,
more better abilities or whatever. And I would be completely fine if they just kept doing that. Like make Godzilla a different color every movie. Just keep doing it. It goes hard. I don't
yeah. It
care.
does.
It's like, yeah,
Make
you just so happen to have this like robot arm down here. Yeah, whatever. That doesn't like make
yeah,
any sense.
yeah.
But yeah, who
Big Monkey
cares?
has
It
giant robot arm now.
goes
Like
hard though. Like
it does.
Scar King's got like a whip made of like another dead skeleton's like spine, and he like whips it around a building and like launches the top of the building, rips it out of the ground, throws it at Kong, and Kong just literally just like fucking punches it, electro punches it straight through and it all breaks into pieces. It's fucking cool. I don't care the how and the why. Just put it on screen, dude.
Yeah, like it's
Godzilla
dope.
Godzilla suplexed Kong in this movie, dude.
Yeah, like dude, that was so
Off of
dope.
a pyramid.
Speaking
He suplexed him off of a pyramid.
speaking of fighting in this movie, like one thing I deeply loved was the fight between Kong and Scar King, the first one, because
Yeah.
it was really cool because Kong's a big brute. He's a brawler. And like the thing I loved most about Scar King, dude, lanky. Like
He's a
dog is
lanky
lank.
boy.
He's a lanky boy. And
He's
like but he's
he,
super fluid. That was the thing I liked.
yeah, he's
Is that like
very light on his feet with his movements.
which is very like contrast to Kong cuz Kong is like big like punching and like he moves quick, but he's not that quick. Like you
Mhm.
know what I like it was like Scar King was almost dancing around the man.
Yeah.
Like it was a really cool like it was really cool to pick up on that like oh yeah, that makes sense that he would be like that because like he's more like stringy like that was another thing that was weird that I didn't notice until like we were watching the movie because they don't
Yeah.
really show it well in the trailers. Scar King is so much smaller than you thought he'd be.
Well, he's shorter, definitely, because like he like literally walks up right in front of Kong. Kong's a whole like head taller than him.
Yeah. Like
But he's
it
like
was interesting.
he's super like fast, and he's got like A, he's got like the bone whip, and then B, he's
Yeah.
got the crystal.
Yeah, so he uses that as like a knife on top of the fact that he has a whip. Like that's
Right.
really cool.
But
And like
the
what go ahead.
crystal is
Oh
used to
yes.
control what, Isaac?
Shimo.
Shimo. Yes. Way to get it
I
wrong.
loved Shimo. Shimo went so fucking hard.
Yeah,
Oh my
she's a
god.
beaut. God damn.
She looks so good.
I
She just went back with Kong, right?
yes. Yes. Shimo's with
Yeah.
Kong now.
Spoiler alert. Sorry. Spoiler alert. Big spoiler alert.
It's fine. Yeah, but I like it's the design was super cool, and like you could see like when she steps out of like the lava, you could see like the like it was kind of like a rainbowy kind of reflection of the light off of her like claws and
Yeah.
shit. Like it really gives like texture and like
You,
feeling to what she's made of.
the only thing now, I know you we just talked about the whole like I don't care, put it on screen, it's dope as shit.
Yeah.
Like on the other hand, there are some things that I wanted to know more about. Like specifically like that crystal that
Um.
Scar King had. Like I'm
I
assuming the only thing I had is I'm pretty sure it's a crystal like from Shimo,
Yeah,
because
I
Shimo
believe
had
that's
those like
implied.
crystals on her.
I believe it's
Like
implied.
yeah, I think it's like he took it off of her, like got it off of her, and now he can use it to like control her or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is it's just Scar King's. That was another crazy thing about Scar King is dude's intelligent.
Oh yeah, he's a smart boy.
Like that was a really cool thing. Like it was actually really nice to see.
Conniving.
Like the all the villain aspects of this, like grade A villain. Honestly, like, he really
Mhm.
was.
Mhm.
And also, I loved what was it? What was his name? What did you call him? Mini
Little
Kong.
monkey.
What was his name? Yeah, what's his name?
His name is Suko, according to all the merch of
Suko.
him.
Oh, Suko. Okay.
Yeah.
That was really cool too, and I like. It's interesting because there's another thing that you have to get solely from context in the movie is that like I can't tell because I assumed at first you assume that like oh Suko is like he's the like that's his like that monkey that he's with that Kong beats the shit out of
Yeah.
and that they see later like at first you think oh that's like his like dad or his grandpa or like his family which they're all family or whatever but like
Yeah.
something that I picked up on was like he's got to be Scar King's kid right
It could be possibly. I
because
mean,
there's
being
that scene
yeah,
well there's
being
this go ahead
being trapped like in the subterranean realm, and he's the head guy. According to like monkey rankings, he should be able to just sleep with whatever giant ape woman he wants, and then all the other guys can just raise his kids for him. So
yeah that's another
that was
yeah
my
that was another thing.
possibility,
Well, no,
I guess.
that's what I thought was a confirmed thing because like you don't see a single I mean, granted, I don't know what ape women look like, but like I didn't see what looks like to be an ape woman.
Were you analyzing for monkey vagina in the theater, Isaac?
No, I was not I was not analyzing monkey vag.
Well,
But
then how do you
anyway,
know?
but
None
what
of
I'm
them had
saying is
wieners
that
either, so how do you know?
there's I don't know, but there's the scene where like that one monkey like runs in like the one that saw the portals and shit and runs in to tell Scar King and like you see a bunch of like other monkeys behind him in
Yeah,
that like
with
cave and
yeah,
I'm
with
sitting here like
little babies.
I'm one yeah so I'm like is that all the women and like he just does that like
Probably,
like
probably makes sense. All the babies were red.
well,
None of the other guys were red.
yeah so
Scar
like I'm
King was
pretty
like
sure
the
he
only
was
red
so
one.
like
Probably his
I'm
kid.
interested if they are going to go on in this universe where how Suko is going to play in. Like I'm
Well,
interested to see where that's gonna go.
that
Cause
was one thing that I actually really liked how they handled it was Tsuko because um I forgot who it was. It was either Ryan George or Critical Drink or when we were watching their videos on
Mhm.
Godzilla X Kong. They had brought up that um it's kind of like the thing where it's like the grizzled old guy is like begrudgingly taking on this younger
Yeah,
character.
Ryan Patrick. That was the pitch beating. That was the pitch beating.
That's not Patrick, but okay, yeah.
Ryan
Yeah,
George, whatever.
so it's like so it's like Logan, it's like The Last of Us, like that kind of thing. But I'm
Yeah.
glad because what those ones do is that they totally lose focus on the grizzled old guy and like make the little
Focus too much
kid
on the kid. Yeah.
the main thing. Which so I'm glad that Kong was still like the main part. Like I know it was a Godzilla X Kong, and Kong was in the movie way longer than Godzilla was, but like
Well,
his part was
he spent the
kind
whole
of
movie
cool though.
like powering it up.
He did, yeah. He spent the whole movie killing other monsters in his way.
Yeah. That was another thing that was interesting to me because like it kind of like the one that he went out of his way to kill, that one made sense, like that it would attack him. But like I thought like the whole thing was like Godzilla's the alpha, he's the king. So
Yeah.
like when he showed up in Rome, that other one should have just fucked off.
Well, okay,
And
so
he
here's
really
the
should
thing.
have.
here's the thing. So there's actually like lore behind that. I looked it up because like that
Oh, interesting.
thing in Rome, the big spider thing, that was one of the ones from King of the Monsters that bowed down to him,
Yeah,
like
it was. I
respecting
knew
him
that.
as alpha. Um, but apparently that one is kind of like rebelling against him and is kind of like fighting against him, and it was because it was in Rome looking for the warhead that was there so it could feed off the radiation, and
Okay.
Godzilla took that as a threat, so
Okay.
it became a
Interesting.
problem.
Interesting. All right. Well, we have been talking on this movie for
Yeah,
we could talk on this movie for a lot longer, but I think it's probably best if we just move on to the rankings, even though we could go on and would go on about this movie.
that's true.
Why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Okay, I will give this the same thing I give every uh MonsterVerse movie, a 7 out of 10. It is drastically held back by the boring, uninteresting human aspects, but it totally makes up for just complete raw enjoyment in the monster fighting. It's the same reason people watch WWE. They don't really care about like the beef or like the
I just want to watch
dialogue
dudes
or
suplex each
story.
other.
Just fucking fight each other. That's all we're here for. It's a fight night, right?
Yeah.
I thought they did a
Uh,
really cool fighting scenes, and then again the Kong scenes were really cool, and like I just thought they did a really good job on this one.
they did. I'm also giving this movie a 7 out of 10. This was very well done. I very much liked it. It's also what I've given like all the other ones. Like I binged all of them in leading up to, which reminds me, I still have your copies of those.
Oh,
But
cool.
but I binged all of them and I'm just like, "Oh, yeah, no, these were good." The one that surprised me though, I actually gave Kong Skull Island an 8 out of 10 because that was a lot of fun. I actually quite like that movie a lot.
Uh-huh.
But no, this movie was. I like this universe they're building. I like that they're bringing a lot of the other titans from like Godzilla lore in, and like
Right.
they're expanding on it, but they're also giving like Kong his own realm to expand on as well. Like
Right.
I like that. That's really
They
cool.
I want them to go crazy with it.
I
Right?
want
You
them
know
to
what
go
I mean?
so fucking
Like
crazy with it.
I want them to have like a million new different forms. I want them to have like all these
World
monsters
War
come in.
Titan. Let's
Yes.
fucking go.
Yes. Go nuts. I want them to go nuts. It'll be fun ride.
It'll be really fun. All right. Moving on. From that then, we will move into Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. They like empires apparently.
Oh yeah. They also like
Um,
doubling up on stuff because with this like not only like this year they like doubling up on stuff.
yeah,
It's apparent with like the first Omen and Immaculate.
immaculate.
It's literally the probably the same movie released
Yeah,
in the same year, and there's two
in the
Empire
same month.
movies.
Like,
So with Kong X Godzilla, or sorry, Godzilla X Kong and Frozen Empire, there's two movies with Empire in the name that we saw on the same day, and in both those movies, a beach freezes over.
yeah, that's wild. But anyway, moving on. Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire is described as the Spengler family returns to the iconic New York City firehouse, where the original Ghostbusters have taken ghostbusting to the next level. When the discovery of an ancient artifact unleashes an evil force, Ghostbusters, new and old, must unite to protect their home and save the world from a second ice age. Now that sounds like a damn good movie, doesn't it? That sounds like an amazing plot, very interesting, like things you could do in there. Really solid shit. Yeah. No, that's not. I'm gonna go right in on this. I don't. They dropped the ball so fucking hard for this
if
movie.
if
It
only they
looks
ma-
so good.
if only they made that movie they described.
Yeah, I know, right? Like it sounds really good. Like taking ghost busting to the next level. I'm like, that does sound cool. They
what,
made a
what
drone in
level
a
is
car.
that? What,
That
what
was
level
it.
is that?
They made a drone in a car. That was all they did. That was
They had
all
the
they did.
no, no. They had the car last movie, so they made a drone.
Oh, right. They made a drone. I forgot they had the car. I didn't watch the last movie before we went and saw this, but you're right. I remember the car in the trailers.
Yep.
I
Okay.
remember that. But oh
So
my gosh, this movie has so many issues with it.
issue number one. There's too many characters.
There's too many cooks in this fucking kitchen. Like,
There's
holy
too many
shit.
cooks with the kitchen. They're trying to give each person their own time, and as a result, nothing happens in the movie. It's
Yes.
dragged. It's 2 hours of movie, and nothing happens. Three of the characters, like the main characters, Finn Wolfhard has no business being in this movie. Literally, they could have said, "Oh, your brother went off to college, and that's why Finn's not in the movie," and it would be exactly the same.
It would be.
His
There are
girlfriend
3 different
Luffy
characters
has
you could do
nothing
that
to do in this
same
movie.
fucking thing with.
His girlfriend has nothing to do in the movie. Podcast has nothing to do in the movie. Like, I'm pretty sure only two of the original Ghostbusters do anything. I think the
Bill Murray just
ghost
shows up at the end just
Bill
to
Murray
fucking
has
drink.
Bill Murray does nothing in this movie.
He shows up at
Literally,
the last minute.
Egon Spangler's ghost from the original movie does more than all three remaining Ghostbusters combined in this movie.
See, here's the thing. Like, you described to me Afterlife, and I have watched it since then, by the way.
Okay,
Uh
and
I will say I thought that I agree with your assessment. That was actually a good movie. Like, I
it was
actually
okay.
liked
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Like, it
it was
was
all right.
fun and it was cool. And honestly, if I had watched that first, I would have been infinitely more disappointed with this movie than I am, because I
Like
would have had
me.
because I have, how do I put this? Uh I would have had the assumption, like, they came back. Like, they showed up at the end of Afterlife, and you had that, and I'm like, oh, cool. They're all going to join up, and they're all going to be Ghostbusters together. That's
Yeah,
dope. I think that's cool. And then this movie immediately starts off with, nah, it's just the family. Like, I mean, yeah, Winston?
Winston. Yeah,
Not Winston. Yeah, Winston.
there's
Okay.
Winston.
Winston is bankrolling them, but, like, he's not doing much besides politicking.
See,
And
I had the opposite kind of feeling. I feel like this frame,
well, it was
like
like a passing of
Afterlife,
the torch.
yeah, it should have been like a passing of the torch. Like maybe they're still like around, like on call, like, hey, it's like, oh, we got this problem, we don't know what to do, and it's like, well, here's what my
Who are you
experience is.
gonna call?
Kind of like mentors, but they're kind of like taken aback. It's like the next group, right? You know, since they botched the
Yeah.
last group so hard that they wrote them out of the continuity.
Yeah.
So like
Like, it was.
that's what I thought that Afterlife was. Like it's because it's not just like, oh, these new kids, whatever, who cares? Because there's kind of a connection, because it's like the grandkids of Egon.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they're
I like
still
that.
so they're
That
still like connected to, it's like the family business, you know?
I like. See, here's another place where they severely dropped the ball. And it's something that I'm happy I didn't watch the first one, because, again, I didn't watch the first one beforehand, because, again, it would have completely differently colored my view of this. Is
Oh
that
boy.
the girl, Phoebe, I think her name is,
Yep.
she is supposed to be Egon. That's basically what she's supposed to be of the group.
It's yeah, that's her
Exactly.
grandpa.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is like, the whole, like, they say it multiple times in the movie, like you're the only one here that pretty much knows how half this shit
Yeah,
works.
she's the smart sciencey one.
Yes, exactly. Now, that part of her took a complete fucking backseat in this movie.
It
and I
did.
hated that.
And
I
what did it take a
hated that.
back seat for? What took the driver's
Uh,
seat?
fucking possible edging the lesbians. That's what it. That's what it happened. That's what it did. That's what
Yeah.
it was. It was. I will not change my phrasing there. That's exactly what that was, because it was all the whole like they might love each other. This might be a romance, or they could be just friends. Like that's exactly what that
I
was.
believe I
Like for
believe what I said as we walked out of the theater is that this movie was just edging the lesbians that this 15-year-old might end up hooking up with this definitely not 16-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the whole thing. It's like, okay, like putting aside the actor's age and like looking at how old she actually looks and probably is. One, she's fucking dead. It is a dead necrophilia. Can I say it again? Like what the
That
fuck?
honestly,
And
that might be the only thing keeping them back. They might have went all the way with the lesbian stuff if it wasn't a dead person. It's like we don't want to catch necrophilia, so we'll only imply it.
also, here's the other crazy thing. Like the other thing that fucked with my head is that like again, this is the whole. Oh yeah, I forgot my other point. The fact is, even if she's dead and she died when she was 16, she's significantly fucking older now. Like you still grew, like you didn't grow, but like you still been around for God knows how long. Like dog. But on top of that, there's the whole thing of like she is trying to befriend Phoebe? Question mark by the at the orders of this dude. But the thing that I cannot for the fucking life of me wrap my head around is when the fuck did that happen? Because it definitely wasn't the case when she first met her.
Probably not.
It was not. It like the whole dialogue they had and everything like that. That was not a goal. Like she was just joking with her. That's all it was. And like, and even like showing up at that one diner, like that was they just got a call. That's all it was. And, like the thing that's annoying me is that this dude singled her out to get Phoebe, like, to
Yeah,
turn
it doesn't
herself into a
exactly.
ghost.
Yeah,
Like it.
this man's master plan does not really fit together well. I mean, it's kind of like
It
he
doesn't.
dropped a bunch of puzzle pieces on the floor, and they just happened by 1 in 10 billion of a chance that they all fell exactly into place.
Yeah,
Like you
I
cannot
there's so
convince me that
much.
that he planned everything from the beginning. It's all like very convoluted and nonsensical.
Also, I'm going to be the one to say this. I for the longest time. Well, I'm switching gears here. By the way,
Okay.
I just
I
before
I
I go
I
anywhere.
want to come back to this Phoebe ghost relationship thing.
You know what? Here, I'm
I'll
gonna
let
let you
you.
cook on it real quick. I'm gonna let you cook on this. I have another thing that I
Okay.
want to bring up about this movie that annoyed me, but I'll let you cook on this on this
Okay.
topic.
All right. At the risk of sounding like raging homophobes here, let's continue to talk about this. It's not even that that's the problem, because the minute that I saw uh the girl playing Phoebe, I was like, oh, that's got to be like some type of gay. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like I was surprised that they didn't bring it up at all in the first movie, but that's kind of the thing in the first movie, because you said you watched it by now.
Yeah.
Okay, she's like very autistic, you know? Like
Yeah.
she's
Extremely.
she's very like robotic though. Like
Yes.
she doesn't like the whole movie she's like telling these really like bad science jokes because it's attempting at trying to make a friend, because it's so hard to do that because she's very like unemotional and robotic,
Yeah.
to the point where it's like, oh, you're not bothered that teacher's dating your mom, and she's like, oh no, I am throwing up on the inside, I just cannot show it on the outside. And then now in this movie it's like completely different. She's just like doing all this, like she's like very emotional now, like she's mad with her stepdad, she's mad with her mom, she's, you know, complaining about all her feelings and stuff, and kind of flirting with the ghost girl. I'm like, it just doesn't feel like, it's been a couple of years, so I get like maybe personal growth and stuff, but like there wasn't any like alluding to that, or like it just doesn't feel like the same character from the first movie.
Yeah.
Um, and then also, this is not from the movie particular, but like this is just like a theory that like I've been noticing a pattern, which is
Go for
you're
it.
not allowed to do that anymore. But I'm wondering if the movie industry knows that the like the gay stuff doesn't play very well. Because I've
Yes.
noticed in movies where that is like a very big plot point, they completely cut it out of the trailer. Because this ghost girl was nowhere to be seen in any of the Frozen Empire trailers. Um, Anyone But You, the wedding they were going to was a lesbian wedding, and like there was a perfect like movie trailer part where they announced that they were going to Sydney for this wedding with both of them in their
Yeah.
dresses, and they didn't put that in the movie, or in the trailer, I mean. Uh, uh, I was gonna have another example, very prominent, but I don't want to spoil the rest of this episode.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Fair.
I've noticed it like in a lot of trailers. They're purposely cutting out. Oh, here's a better example. So sorry, we're talking about too many other movies in this, but like this, I'm trying to put something together here.
No,
Do
I
you
get it.
remember last year around Christmas time they were coming out with a Justin Long movie? It's a Wonderful Knife. It was like a
Yes.
slasher parody of that. Yeah, I tried to watch that, and I
Okay.
couldn't make it 10 minutes into the movie
Fair.
because the main character's family was getting around the Christmas tree, right? And the very first thing that happens in that scene is the mom pulls out a rainbow ornament and gives it to her son,
Yeah.
and she literally goes, I got you this gay rainbow ornament for you because you're gay. Like, that's not even me emphasizing like that,
Wow.
she says that. And then immediately after that, the next thing that happens is that two ladies walk in, taking their coats off, and they say, sorry we're late, we were just over at her parents' house explaining to her that we're not roommates, we are in fact gay. And I'm like, what is all of this?
Yeah.
I'm like, why does this matter immediately in
I
the
think they're
movie?
realizing that shoving it in your face is not what it's not
Right.
only does it play well, and but it also is like in several cases has hurt the perception of it from the side that they're targeting it towards as well. Like they need to learn to go subtle with it if they're gonna do it at all.
Right. Well, that's the thing. If it's like a major thing in these movies, like Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire literally hinged on, the entire plot of the movie was balancing on whether or not Phoebe was gonna find this ghost girl attractive, right?
Yeah,
And that's nowhere in the trailer is this ghost woman who's a major part of the show. And I'm thinking, that's my belief, is that like movie people, they know that that stuff doesn't play very well with regular audiences, so they cut
yeah,
that out of the trailer, so to get more asses in seats, so by the time you see the movie in the theater it's too late, you already bought the ticket.
yeah. Uh, yeah. No, I get it, and it's one of those it's one of those things where it's just like on the one hand, at least it wasn't in your face, and they didn't just make it super super. I mean, it was obvious
It
that
was very
that's what they were
obvious, they did
going for.
all but
That
say
that's
it
what they
out
were.
loud.
Exactly, but it was also like they still left it as like Maybe they were trying to just be friends, kind of like they can
I
make
think
they
they left it. No, they
plausible deniability.
exactly. It's literally like, well, they didn't say they were gay, so in my head, they're not gay.
Yeah, like it allows you to
Like they leave
choose
they
your
leave
narrative
that
for the
open,
movie.
which they absolutely did not. They did not. They
No.
did that. They did that on purpose so that people who don't like the gay part can say, "Oh, they're not gay" in my head.
Yeah.
But they absolutely are, and they did that. And they
So, go ahead if you got more.
only other thing that I had to gripe about this movie is like again they fucking dropped the ball so hard because the coolest thing about this was all the ice taking over the city and all the ice spikes shooting up out of the ground. I thought there was going to be more of like, you know, people getting caught in that. Literally nobody was in that. Nobody died. Like
Yeah.
nobody got speared like through the chest or anything with one of those. Like everyone made it out perfectly fine. Okay, I get it. PG-13 whatever. But I thought they were going to do more with that. Like there wasn't even any scenes where they went outside. There was a
Oh, an
scene of that
R-rated
in
Ghostbusters movie would fuck so hard. Oh
it
my
would.
god.
But there wasn't like there's a scene in the trailer where they were outside doing stuff and like they didn't go outside at all. Like nobody went
Hmm.
outside where all the ice and stuff is, where all the spikes are. They didn't do anything out there. The main villain shows up at like the last like 15 minutes
Yeah.
and oh my
To be
god, this is
fair,
so
that is what
stupid.
happens in the original Ghostbusters.
Well, right, but at least there's like interesting stuff happening throughout the movie, and then the original Ghostbusters trailer doesn't have, you know, the Marshmallow Man and the demon guys all throughout the trailer, making it look like that's what the whole movie's gonna be about. This looked like it was gonna be the whole thing where it takes over right away,
It
and then
had
they all
that problem that a lot of action movies have nowadays, where they put all the action in the trailer and then don't follow up on it. They don't deliver on
exactly
that promise.
exactly.
We'll get back.
But
We'll touch back on that point in a minute.
yeah, but, like, cause at the way I thought it was gonna be is I thought like it was gonna start like in the trailer. I thought it was gonna start at that beach. Like this thing is like slowly rolling in, and then the Ghostbusters are just gonna start freaking out. Like, what is this? We gotta find out what this is. We gotta find out how to do it. We gotta rally the team, and then we gotta take this thing down. You know. But
Yeah,
it's
no,
literally fucking around with the lesbian ghost for the entire movie, and
yeah,
nothing else is happening. And they're fucking around with this ball, and it doesn't even open until like the last 20 minutes. The guy gets out, he slowly walks to the Ghostbusters thing, and then they blast him, and then he shoot him with fire, and then he's dead.
yeah.
Like literally, and this is just a fucking gripe here. They say he's weak to brass, so the main one melts down brass and puts it on her components so that the lasers can hurt him because he's immune to the regular lasers.
Mhm.
But she's got a whole fucking like witch's cauldron of melted brass that she's dipping her components in, and like nobody else does that. Like
Yeah, no
literally
one else.
the 9 other Ghostbusters in the building are all shooting their lasers at the thing, doing jack shit.
He
When they
shows up at the
literally
literal last second,
he
too.
shows yeah,
Like,
and then she comes in with the brass one and blasts him, and oh surprise, it hurts him. Like they knew the whole time. Why didn't you dip everyone else's shit in that so they could
yeah.
actually do something?
Oh, that's another thing that griped me about this. Again, PG-13 movie. I 100% understand that. There is no fucking way they survived being unfrozen.
I'll give them a pass for that because people have been doing that trope where oh you're frozen, oh you're unfrozen for so many fucking times. You know, like that's
Fair.
literally every single time Mr. Freeze is in any Batman media, he freezes a guy, they thaw him out, he's fine.
But, you also brought us around to fire, and that brings me to my other gripe about the movie.
Completely irrelevant character.
Well, see, here's the thing. Okay, for the longest time, I
For the
actually was
longest
a fan
time.
I was a
Ooh.
fan of Kumail, whatever his name is.
Why?
Kumail Ali Nanjiani. I was a fan of that dude. I thought he was funny. He was in a movie called The Big Sick that I actually really enjoyed. Like, I thought he was kind of funny. He has been in 3 different movies recently. No, I shouldn't say recently, but the last 3 movies I have seen him in, he does fuck exactly all.
That's not
Like,
true.
he is not relevant at
That's not
all.
true. There's one.
What? Oh yeah, he's the Fire Master.
No.
Oh, what? What are you
He's
talking
the
about? Am I
dad in
forgetting
the
one?
he's the dad in the Ducky movie.
Okay, that he gets a pass on that. He gets a pass on that. But when he's physically acting, dude's kind of dropped the ball recently. I mean, he was in the Eternals. Like,
He's in the Eternals.
like dude's
He was, I don't know. I believe that was him in the Jordan Peele Twilight Zone episode. That was really bad.
yeah.
Fucking he was in Obi-Wan, dude.
He was ouch.
I'm
But yeah,
surprised he
but
wasn't the
anyway,
worst part of that.
but no, like they just kind of threw him in there again. It's another actor that they're kind of throwing at things,
Yeah, he gets
and
thrown
I'm
in a
getting
lot of
kind of
stuff a
sick of
lot.
it.
And it's not
But
even it's not
still,
hang on, it's not even that it's just you see him so often. It's that like he's not that entertaining to watch. I mean, like
no, he's not.
Alan Richson, he's in like a lot of movies now. And he's super like cool and enjoyable and he acts really well every time he's on screen. Like and Chris Pratt, he's in a lot of stuff and that guy's cool and actually funny.
Yeah,
But like Aquafina, she's just super annoying in everything that she's in. And like this guy, I mean,
they just
I mean,
make him. They just make him
he's a
cool
good. You know
Indian.
what? You know what? The only roles of his that I actually enjoyed were Prismo from Adventure Time and the father from Migration. So maybe he should
When
just
he's
stick to voice acting.
when he does like serious stuff with a side of humor, he does very well. And when I say serious, I mean more drama. When he does more dramatic stuff in person, like
Such
he
as
does a lot better. Such as the Big Sick. Like it
ah,
was a good movie and he did a good job. But I'm talking too much on this actor because there's 2 other actors in this movie that I actually wanted to talk more on.
are there?
Uh, yeah. Well, one is more of a shout out. I was floored to see James Acaster in this movie. I was so happy for him until watched the rest of the movie. But like James Acaster is a stand-up comedian that I've actually been following for a very long time. He's a British comedian, but he's mainly known for being on Taskmaster, which is a British show. They do a bunch of silly random shit. But like it was cool to see him in a movie, like an actual movie. Like it was kind of cool. Like, granted he did fuck all, but it was cool to see him in it. But
He's
the
not
one that I wanted to talk to,
he's not the
what? Go
British
ahead.
guy that I hate, right?
The British guy you hate?
Yeah, the British comedian guy I hate.
No, that's Jimmy Carr.
Yeah, okay.
You don't like Jimmy Carr. No, you'd actually like James Acaster. I'm gonna have to find some of his shit and send it to you because I think you'd actually like him. He's
All right.
you know what? He's the dude on the meme that's like, never before have I been so offended by something I 100% agree with. That's him.
Okay.
But anyway, the other person I want to talk about is the lead actually was Phoebe. Because I'm kind of not liking the direction I'm seeing her going because she's actually a really good actress. Like at least when she was a child, she was doing some really good stuff. Like she was in the movie Gifted, which I really like. She was in a movie called Troop Zero on Prime. I want to say it was about she played like this little girl who wanted to go to like space camp and like she had to get a troop together, stuff like that. Like it was fun. One role that you would know her as,
Eh?
she is the little sister in Crash and Bernstein.
On God?
She is. Yeah. She's Bernstein's little sister.
That's cap. I'm looking that
Like,
up right now.
nah, it's real. She's Jasmine.
No, it's shit.
It's
What the?
actually her.
No. You're
It
blowing
is.
shit up my dick.
No, I'm not.
What the
I'm
fuck?
absolutely not.
God, she's 17.
But
I'm fucking ancient. She was like 3
yeah,
when
like
when she was in Bernstein. Oh my god.
yeah,
Fuck, we're
and
old.
she was doing good. Like she was in Young Sheldon, and her role in Young Sheldon was fun, at least. And like
You
she
admitted to
was
watching Fun Sheldon.
well, yeah. Like she's in one of the Annabelle movies or whatever. Like she does some good like horror movie roles, which is cool. But her more recent roles,
The fuck?
she was in in Captain Marvel, the first one,
Ew,
because
didn't watch it.
she played the young Carol Danvers.
Carl Danvers.
Carl Danvers, yes. She was
Alright.
also in the one that we keep seeing shit for, Malignant, which I've
Oh.
heard wasn't
Oh, what
good.
do you mean? I liked it.
Was it?
Yeah, it was alright.
Well, she was in that. She was the young version of the main character, I
Ah.
guess. But like, she's actually a really good actress. Like, she actually really is. She always has been, honestly. And it's kind of sad to see her take on these roles that aren't really matching up to her caliber, you know?
Yeah.
Like it kind of makes me sad to see that. And it I'm hoping that this movie isn't a nail in the coffin. It's more of a stepping stone to something better for her. Because I really want to see
Oh.
she has the potential to do a lot of good stuff, and I really want to see it. Also, again, Finn Wolfhard did not need to be in this movie. He really did. Paul Rudd was an excellent dad. Was an excellent stepdad.
Alright. I think we've talked about this enough.
Yeah, let's move on to the rankings. We could bitch about this movie a lot longer, honestly.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say a couple good things about it that
Apologies,
weren't really about
everyone.
it.
Apologies, everyone. We were super disappointed in this and had to vent. But hey, that's why it's a
Yeah.
podcast and not a video. Ayo.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, I'm giving this a 4.
Uh,
I felt very
yeah.
disappointed by it.
I'm really sad because I'm looking at my list, and by the way, I'm also giving this movie a 4. I really am. And I'm looking at my list and I'm realizing that this is like the fifth or sixth 4 I've given this year.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, damn, it really is 2024, I guess. Like,
A lot of
fuck.
4s. It's
Granted, we started this year out strong. Like, I have some pretty high quality shit this year
okay,
so far.
but
But
to
like,
be fair, we started out strong because we started with a lot of movies from December of last year, and that's where everyone puts all the effort into their movies.
right, fair. But like, yeah, no, this movie was incredibly disappointing. Like, it did not deliver on what it promised. It was just like the villain was not great. You know what the only
The
cool
villain
thing
was not
I thought
there.
no, he wasn't. But you know what I thought was really cool? There was one cool
The-
aspect about this movie. I need to say something good about the
and it
movie
ended.
itself that I like. That I actually no. There was one thing I liked is that they expanded on what types of ghosts can exist, and that being I really liked the possessor ghost. I really liked him. Like, it
Yeah, it was
wasn't a
alright.
ghost that had like a physical form. Like, it just zipped around from thing to thing and just possessing inanimate objects. I thought that was cool. I really did like it. I like that idea of just like it's like a poltergeist in that way, and I kind of
I'll
like
tell
that.
you what, though,
But
Foster's Home did it better.
fair.
Yeah, there's a cool aspect. I did like that aspect too, though. I liked it was a little red, like spark.
Yeah, that was cool. Like you could track him from thing to thing. Like when he's just fucking up that room and he's zipping all over the place. Like that was fun. That was a lot of fun.
I was kind of hoping that when he took over the lion statues, that would be cooler, because like statues coming to life is really cool if you can pull it off so that they still look like rocks. Like
Yeah.
the Dungeons and Dragons movie did that very, very well. I really liked how they did
Yes.
that. But I don't know. It just felt too like fake.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways,
But anyway, moving on to Monkey Man.
Lucky
Been talking
Man.
about it long enough. The newest thing from the mind of well, not even no. I was gonna say from the mind of Jordan Peele, but he was just a producer on this.
Yeah, so
Shockingly enough.
the main character, who's also the writer and the director and one of the producers, I believe. This was
Yeah,
actually
he's
going to be released on like streaming services, and it was, not going to be received. Like they literally said, "quote unquote," it's dead in the water.
yeah.
And then, but Jordan Peele came and liked it so much that he put his own money behind it and like really gave it like a theatrical big release like this.
Yes, he did. Before we get too far into it, the Monkey Man, the longest one out of all of them.
Oh boy.
Uh, a young man ekes out a meager living in an underground fight club where night after night, wearing a gorilla mask, he's beaten bloody by more popular fighters for cash. After years of suppressed rage, he discovers a way to infiltrate the enclave of the city's sinister elite. As his childhood trauma boils over, his mysteriously scarred hands unleash an explosive campaign of retribution to settle the score with the men who took everything from him.
I think that was a little
Now,
too much information for a description of this movie.
yeah, like it kind of spelled out everything. I mean, it's a good description. Like it put out a lot of stuff in there. The first off, we were super excited for this movie.
Yeah, I was thinking either it was gonna be like really good or like really not great. You know,
Yeah,
like it was probably either gonna be like a 4 or a 9 in
yeah,
going into it.
yeah. I this movie. I said we'd get back to this in a minute. One thing this movie did have an issue with that I will say. I'll go on the negative first. Uh, but I do have positive things to say about this movie.
Mhm.
The action that it promised in the trailer was all in the trailer for the most part. Like
Yeah,
the movie was billed as a the movie was billed as Indian John Wick, and it was not Indian John Wick.
yeah. You
It
really
was
thought
like there was not nearly enough action in this movie.
exactly, and not even like the quantity of action, but like the craziness of it. Like the video that's out, like the trailer for it. You see him like smashing this guy's face directly into an ashtray, which side note doesn't even happen in the movie. They cut that part out.
Yeah.
You see him like grab a guy, put his head down, and just smash a bottle of whatever onto his head, and then
Yeah.
the part that really went hard is him grabbing the microwave door and just like with the force of God, just swinging it open, and then it just fucking bashes against this guy's head. Just like it looked like heavy, like that hit
Yeah.
would have killed that man.
Yeah, like they
And
portrayed
then
that, and that was all in the trailer.
and then in the movie it doesn't have that like
It
impact
doesn't have
or
that
weight.
weight.
Like he just it just like I think that guy I don't believe that like when he swung the microwave open, like I don't believe it did any damage. See, like it's not convincing me that that hurt really. I
Yeah.
mean the glass
The only
shattered,
thing
but like
that's the only thing that yeah, I was gonna say that's the only thing that's telling you that it had a lot of force behind it was the glass broke, and that was it.
yeah.
The biggest so before I can actually rant more. I'm realizing as we're talking that I have more negative to say about this movie than positive. Uh,
Okay.
so let's just stay on the negative and then we'll go into the positive later. Honestly, uh, like it was disappointing in that fact. On top of that, one problem I talked about this as we walked out of the theater. One big problem that this movie has with its fight scenes is like because the fight scenes when they're happening are severely action packed. There's a lot going on. Biggest
Mhm.
issue with it is scoring. A movie lives or dies by its music. Like it kind of does. Like you need to make sure you have the right sounds, like the right backdrop to the scene you're pitching, and
I
like
didn't
or
think it had bad songs. Like there was like 3 times where I was like, "Man, this song's kind of fire," but
no, it's
that's
not
not
the
the
songs
issue,
themselves. The issues is putting the songs where they belong is the issue.
right?
Well, first off, didn't even have the freaking dinga 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 song in it. Like, it
It
wasn't even
was
in the
in the
movie. That
trailer.
made me, yeah. Which, like, I mean, yeah, I get it. That's like stereotypical, but like, I felt like it would have
That's the
gone really
stereotypical.
hard for a fight
They
scene.
love that song. Indian
Yeah, but
people
it would have
love
gone
that
hard for a
song.
fight scene. And honestly, the scene where I thought that song was supposed to go, and the scene where I feel like that song deserves to be, is they had this almost like heavenly like slow like what do you call it like this slow and like
Like a
singy chorusy thing going on during this action-packed fight scene where he's literally killing several dudes at once, and like it's just this like almost like a lament, and
Mhm.
like and then to give you complete fucking whiplash, like other people show up and join him in the fight, and like now
And then
it's
they
this
switch up the
super
song
heavy
again.
metal song that doesn't fit the action either. Like at no point does the action in the scene line up with the song. Like there's no point where like a beat hits in the song and he's like stabbing someone or something like that. Like that doesn't exist in this movie. And that's a big point down for me. Like it could have like if it would have accented its fight scenes a lot better, it would have hit a
Mhm.
lot harder. That's a part of why the trailer went so hard, because they got like the ding a ding like thing, and like the bass in it, and like when he hits that dude, like everything goes quiet for a sec. Like, oh,
Yeah,
that's perfect. That adds weight. They didn't have that.
a lot of the fight scenes had like shaky cam, and it was really
Oh
noticeable at
yes.
times. And it did take
See,
away a bit from it.
like
Um,
at least like if you're gonna do that, make that consistent. But they swap between precision shots and like super zoomed in, and then like as you're running through it's like and you're just like you
yeah.
can't follow it,
I
and
also think
it's
that like you say it's like super zoomed in. I think they also didn't do very well on that. Like I think certain
no.
shots um would have benefited from like 1 foot back. Like just back up
Yeah,
1 foot and give us me a little more room to really look at what's happening. And I think the shot would have been better. Like they do a lot of like close-ups in the action, and sometimes it works. Like when you like stab that guy in the elevator in the neck and then just kept pushing it like further into his neck. That was gross. It was quiet. It was brutal, and you were right there. That paid off. But
yeah,
then
that looked
also
good.
but like other times when he's like killing other people and you're like looking like most of the screen is like the back of the guy getting killed, the back of his head. I'm like,
Yeah,
how am I even supposed to register what he's doing right now?
exactly. Like, and another problem this movie has is that it kind of just ends. Now
Yeah.
that can pay off very well if every single fight scene had hit. Like this movie had so much potential and they missed the mark by like a half a step, but they missed it every step along the way. It's like, let's put it this way. It's like they had. It's like you ever walk on like it through like snow, and you you're walking behind someone who's walking through snow, and you try and step in their footprints, and like
Yeah.
eventually you get to them, kind of thing. Like you get to that part. It's like they went to go and step in the person's foot in the right footprint, and then missed by like 3 inches every single time.
And then got snow in their boot.
Exactly. Like that's what it. It's a kind of a bad metaphor, but you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah,
Like
I get.
the movie, the movie was off in so many little ways that it ended up being a complete dial change for me.
Yeah,
It's like ripples become waves kind of thing. Like
exactly.
it's just a bunch of little things that I didn't like about the movie that ultimately ruined the whole experience. And it made it like, I don't want to say ruined, because I did still have a fun time watching this movie. Like I
Yeah, I
actually
mean, the
did.
action was really good. What you
The
could see
action
of it,
was really
it was
good.
good. And like the main guy, his acting was great.
Yeah,
Great
that's
actor.
another that moving on to the positive here. Dev Patel put his heart, soul, blood, sweat, and tears into this movie, and it showed.
Yeah, he gave it
That
everything
part
he
showed.
got. I will
He
say that.
literally broke several bones while like he injured himself several times filming this movie.
Yeah, I imagine.
Like he put a lot on himself for this, and like it paid off in my opinion
Hmm.
in that sense. But again, it's just the different parts of the movie just didn't hit correctly.
Hmm. Um, Now, in the Ghostbusters part, I was talking about my theory that movie people are recognizing that like the gay stuff is not landing very well with the common audience, so they're
Okay.
purposely omitting it from the trailers in order to get people to buy tickets.
Oh, where did you notice this?
The entire group of cross-dressers that took him in
Oh
and then
yeah.
saved him in the fight.
To be fair,
Well,
that whole thing is them.
hang on, because in the trailer they have like this group of what appears to be women in masks and like jeweled clothing with like weapons and stuff, and then they come do like choreographed fight and stuff. And I was like, wow, that looks cool. That looks interesting. I wonder what that is. And then you see that there's like these line of women that are not really, who are literally just like quote unquote escorts in this place, and they focus on one that's, you know, being not treated very well. So I thought like, oh, it's gonna be them, like Monkey Man, because he's in the movie. He says the white monkey's the hero of the people. So I thought he was gonna like rally the, you know, the ones in this building who are not being treated well, you know, like the kitchen staff, the, you know, the women who are being abused by the rich people. You know, like I thought he was gonna rally them, and then that would be them helping, and they would have like a almost like a femme fatale kind of thing, where you had the group of the women come in and then they would fight with him. But no, it's just a bunch of guys dressed like women. And and yeah, I don't entirely get that aspect of the movie, and I don't get why they were all in this temple in the middle of the nowhere. There's a lot of stuff in this movie I don't get.
Yes, I absolutely do. I absolutely do agree with what you're saying. Now, I will say, like, again, it's the whole like they are like, because their god is supposedly like, was supposed to be like half man, half woman type thing,
No, I
because like
think that was
gods are like
with
supposed to
my
be weird.
limited knowledge of Hindu beliefs. I think that like that was literally just a statue of two of the gods like split down the middle. Like it was one god on one side and the other god on the other side.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Because I think
Uh,
what they were trying to do some symbolism or whatever. Because I think one half was the god of creation and then the other half was the god of destruction. And
yeah.
it was kind of doing like some kind of yin yang thing there. But I
Ooh,
don't believe that pertained to anything in there or why they were in this temple in the middle of nowhere.
the other thing that deeply disappointed me about this movie, and
Go
I
on.
know they couldn't do it, but I would have loved to have seen him absolutely fucking some dudes up. Like, you know what I thought this movie was originally gonna be? I thought this movie was gonna
Indian
be,
John Wick.
dude. Well, not just that, just like, dude would be like a vigilante.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought he was doing. Cause he had like the monkey mask, and then he dips it in like the bleach to turn it white, and then he's like, I'm the white monkey, the the hero of the people from the story. Like that's me now.
Yeah,
And then he puts the
like I
mask
thought this
on,
was gonna
and
be.
then he goes to the hotel, and then he immediately takes the mask off and just leaves it out there. I'm like, I thought that was the thing. You dipped it in the bleach because it was like symbolically the white monkey, and then he just takes it off and then just throws it away.
Like, they don't focus. The other thing is that they don't focus enough on like what they were also trying to do as well, is like the whole like underground fight club thing. I
Yeah,
don't
it just
think they
kind of
focus
like
enough on that
happens.
either.
I didn't really get the like. I get it. Like he's doing like he's the fall guy. He's like you're paid to lose.
Yeah.
So the big guy wins, and then you lose, and then you get your money, and then you show up and lose again. Like
I
just
do have
like
to say,
just like Nacho Libre.
I will say I like the whole like when he comes back to it, like after he trains and everything.
Yeah, and then he just fucking just kicks the guy out in one
Yeah,
shot.
like those fights, they like it was cool to see the like see here's the other problem is that it would have been cool to see the progress of this character throughout the movie, like that would have been cool, but have more than, one fucking fight, like one or two
Yeah,
fights. Like it would have been, you know what would have made that montage scene so much better? If he was fighting throughout it.
yeah. Like if it was like him, if it cut from like him like doing the punching bag stuff, and then like it would cut to him fighting in like the ring, and then it would just go back and forth between ring fights and training, and ring fights and training, and ring fights and
'Cause-
training, and then like something
yeah,
big
because
happens at the training, and then he comes back and wins the fight.
this is
Because what does he do?
this is
One
my
guy bangs
biggest
on the
gripe.
one guy bangs on the drums, and then he's just like punching a bag over and over again,
You just
and
hit
then all of a
upon
sudden,
my
and then all of a
biggest
sudden he's
pet
great.
peeve. Yeah, that is my biggest pet peeve when it comes to fighting montages in things or training montages, is that they will go off and they will punch something and they'll work out and they'll do all this, and then they'll be like super amazing, like they're dodging punches and all this shit and all this. Oh yeah, he's so amazing. And I'm like, how the fuck did you train? Like, I get you can train your reflexes and
Yeah.
shit like that, but like that shit's like not. That's not how that works. Like, you need to train like
Like yeah, but like
how to
even
move your
if
body and shit like that. Like,
even in other movies they have them like training like multiple stuff, like the Karate Kid movie, like the fucking what
jacket
was it?
on or wax on, wax off is the original correct
Yeah,
Karate Kid.
yeah, that was different. I'm talking about like the Jaden Smith one. Because
Yeah,
I mean, original Karate Kid, like that's real training,
jacket on.
Yeah, the jacket on, whatever, and then he's just like doing because he's doing like different stuff and different trainings. In this one, in Monkey Man, like all he's doing is punching a bag. Then the guy hits on the
Yeah,
drums is like, oh, punch differently. He just
that
learns,
was cool.
oh,
I did
punch
like that though.
differently.
I did like that though. Is that like the
Yeah,
dude
that was cool with
communicated
the
with
with the yeah,
drums?
yeah, punching and beat to the drum, that's cool, but that's all he did for training was punch the
Yeah,
bag.
it was. Yeah, I could probably rant on this movie for a lot longer, but like
Right.
I
Yeah.
could tell a lot of heart and soul went into it, and honestly, that scores points for
Yeah,
me.
that's
Like, if I could tell, if I
memorable.
could
Like
tell
I mean, it's
If I
better.
can tell a movie,
It's better
yeah,
than anything I could put out
yeah, like
at the moment, at least.
when you can, it's noticeable when the people that made the movie give a fuck,
Yeah, I mean, he gave a fuck. He gave every
and
fuck
he
he
did.
had.
Like he put his heart and soul. Every problem I have with the movie is solely based on my own expectations of the movie. The movie
Mhm.
itself, decent movie. Actually a good movie.
Yeah,
Like all of the problems that I have with the movie, well, okay, except for scoring. My scoring issue is different than
yeah.
that. But
It's
like all my other problems with the movie are solely based on it failing to meet the expectations that I set for the movie.
well, okay. I would say that it failed to meet the expectations implied to us by the trailer for the movie. The trailer
True.
set expectations and the movie did not live up to them.
Yes, and that is they could have marketed, honestly, if they would have marketed the movie as a dude who is deeply traumatized and like,
Yeah, if they
he's
kept
getting
like the
revenge.
whole like high pace action shit like a secret and it was all just like if they were very vague in it like they showed his like the burns on his hands and like his mom getting killed and he's just like I will have my
I'm
revenge
picture,
and then you see
you know,
Monkey
what?
Man.
I'm picturing this thing where you're hearing like this, "Ah," like some lady singing high pitched in the background
Yeah.
or whatever, and you see his burned hands, you see the village burning down, and things like that. Like you see him getting the shit kicked out of him in the monkey mask. Like keep that in.
Mhm.
That was cool. And maybe you get a little teaser of action, but like it's just like him sitting there and like it's just like a lamenting type of thing. Like if they would have toned the trailer back, this movie I wouldn't have had as high expectations for this movie, and I probably would have liked it a lot more than I did.
Yeah, and then all the like
But
cool action stuff that they did like in the kitchen that would be a
would have been
surprise
awesome.
and that would like shock you in your seat rather than
See,
like oh
here's
it's just
another,
a lesser version of what you've already seen in the trailer.
back to my scoring issue. The problem is that all the action that they showed us for the movie was to the beat of it, was in the realm of this of like this song that they had playing in the trailer, and so you would expect that song to be playing during the fight scenes in the movie, and it doesn't, so it doesn't hit as hard as
You
it
just
did in the
want them to
trailer.
put the
So
Dinga 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 song in the
I
Indian
want the
movie in
dinga dinga. You
places.
put the dinga dinga thing. I want the dinga dinga song. Mo and Taylor aren't even
I,
gonna watch the movie because it doesn't have the dinga dinga song in it.
alright, I think we should move on to the rankings and wrap this video up.
Yes, fine. Let's do it. Me. I gave this movie a 5.
Okay.
Mainly because this movie was. I was expecting this movie to be like a 7 or an 8
Mm-hmm.
at the very least, and so when I started judging it, I started it at that point, and it didn't have
Oh,
a
that's where
whole
you
lot
fucked.
that. Yeah, that's where I that and that was my problem. It
You
kind
know
of
the
went
rules.
down. Yeah, I know you started at a 5, but at the same time it was just like I was expecting a 7 or an 8, and like it kind of just kept going down from there, and like it didn't have a whole lot points, like the points up were negated by the points down was the problem.
Yeah.
And like the cons had it in this one, unfortunately. So it was just a 5 for me.
Yeah. On
Because
its
it was
own,
definitely better than Night Swim.
yeah. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. On its own, I think it's like if I were to give like a flat rating for the movie itself, I think it would be a 6. But I'm also gonna give it a 5 just because
Yeah.
again, the trailer hyped it up so much. And then
Yeah.
when you actually saw the movie, it felt like it felt like I got the great value version of whatever movie was in the trailer. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
Yes.
If that allegory makes sense, that's
Yeah,
how
it
I feel
does.
about this.
Yeah, it absolutely does.
Okay. So
This movie was watered down from what it was supposed to be, in my opinion.
I believe it loses a point in that regard for me
Yeah,
personally. But as a movie itself, just unbiased looking at it without knowing anything or
it's a decent
just
movie.
yeah, decent movie, 6 out of 10. But like for honestly everything around it, it's dropped down to a 5 for me.
Yeah, that's again. It's still like again. I was expecting this movie to be a 7, and it dropped down to a 5 as well.
Yeah,
Like it just had those issues that like. I know that they put a lot of heart and soul into it, and it definitely showed through the movie. It's just the problem was they put the heart and soul in the wrong areas.
exactly.
So, but yeah.
I think that should
I guess
wrap
that
that
concludes.
up there.
Yeah, I think we're done. We're done kind of talking about the movies.
Next time,
Other movies next time. We have a big list of movies that we're planning on. Well, not I wouldn't say a big list, but we have a list of movies that we're planning on seeing. We have a little bit of a scheduling issue. With
I
one of
think
our
we
days.
kind of worked it out. Um,
Yeah, we've worked out some the ones that we're planning on having. We're definitely gonna get Sting
I am
in.
super
We're
excited for
gonna
Sting. I think it looks super cool. I can already tell. I had a
uh
good feeling when I saw the trailer for Nefarious. I had a good feeling when I saw the trailer for Last Voyage of the Demeter, and I have the same good feeling about Sting. So fingers
yeah.
crossed that I keep this, you know, victory train rolling. That Sting is actually really good.
Uh, the other one that we have planned is the new Guy Ritchie movie, The Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I'm excited for that. I mean,
Hmm.
you get to see Henry Cavill and Alan Richson fuck shit up. I'm
Exactly.
excited for that.
It's
Like
really good.
I've seen so many things about that movie, like of people like I've seen like a video recently about like Henry Cavill and Alan Richson like complimenting each other's things like in like interviews. Like they're
Hmm.
talking about how great they are on set and everything, and I'm so excited for that movie. That movie looks great. I believe another one on our radar is Abigail.
Yes, it looks wonderfully bad.
It does,
It
but
looks
but
it
like
looks like it doesn't take itself seriously. And for a movie about a ballerina vampire, that's exactly the tone it needs. Yeah. All right, well, here's hoping we can make all of those fit into our schedules and we can get all of those reviewed to you guys. Be sure to subscribe, everybody, because, it keeps us going, keeps us watching, keeps us putting videos out.
yep,
Be sure to follow us on Letterboxd
Letterbox.
at Cinema Kellan and Regular Isaac. And until next time, guys, that's a wrap. Roll credits.